Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm talking about proximity guilt or guilt by proximity. Yeah, it can go either way. Yeah, and this is something that usually we experience in life. For example, it goes either way. The person that you might be close to someone that is going through something bad and your life is going extremely well and you don't know how to navigate that, the relationship in that season, or the other way around, like you are going through something so bad and maybe like someone's life, a friend's life, a spouse's life, or an acquaintance's life is doing so well and you almost don't know how to navigate the relationship anymore because of the dynamic that this difference is causing. So I'd like to talk about that. I'd like to just delve into this conversation. It's a difficult one, but it was sparked by a certain conversation that I had with a close friend of mine, a very good friend of mine. Hi, Grace. I've not been in work like for a year plus, and it takes a toll on you on how to navigate relationships with those that you met even in this place of work, and you became like almost like sisters. So my friend usually told me recently that, you know what, I find it hard to talk to you about challenges at work. She just got a new job, and she's like, I find it hard to talk to you about challenges at work because we usually say it's a good problem. Now, it's a term or it's a phrase that we usually use at church to say that you might be in a good thing, but then you might experience a blessing, but within that blessing, there is a little bit of unpleasantness. So, but it's just to recognize or acknowledge that there is a problem in this good thing. And I for one, I believe in the duality of things, that two things can be true, that you can be grateful that you have employment and a source of income and the blessing of work. So this had me thinking, because apparently I've said this statement quite a number of times, and especially to my friends that are in employment in this season that I'm not employed. And I was so grateful that she actually brought this up to me, because it helped me now to sit down and think how, even with my good intentions, this can be harmful and this is being received differently. So we had a conversation and I told her it's from a harmless place, and my intention was that not to give the whole thing negativity, but to recognize that it's a problem but a good one, because you still have that employment. And I told her, just make sure that we're able to talk about this, because that's what friendship is. I'm not a sunlight friend, like I told her, that even in the times that things are difficult, I'm always available to talk. So this whole thing boiled down to the fact that sometimes your friends are actually going through good things, and you're thinking, how do we navigate this? How do we navigate our relationship? You know, and it leads to the fact that sometimes we censor ourselves, especially on the part whereby things are going well for you. You start censoring yourself around this person. You start avoiding maybe like certain interactions, which is granted, because if maybe probably at this point in time their income cannot allow them to participate the way you wanted, because probably you had planned trips together, like vacations together, you had planned a lot of things, or they're just that mutuality and reciprocity that you want to do, like people are being kind to you, and you feel that you want to be kind back, but now in this season you cannot actually do that. And it can put a strain on the relationship, and that you start censoring the relationship. And for me, I think it's just understanding the seasons. Like, how do we move from this place? It's understanding the seasons, given and granted. Sometimes on the receiving end or on the end of the person that your life is not going so well, it can come that you're actually jealous. Not that you don't know how to relate, not that, because you find that you want to celebrate the wins, but two things can happen. Two things can exist at the same time, that you can be happy for them, whereas acknowledging that you wished your life was also at a better place, and you have to check yourself, because the Bible says that examine your heart, that you still be in the faith. So examine your heart, why your heart is at in this particular place, so that you're not actually sinking into envy or sinking into jealousy for this particular person. If you find that guys, motherhood. So examine yourself and make sure that you don't have envy towards the person. If you find that you wish that they did not have what they have, or it was you that was in that place, it might be envy and you need to check that. Okay, it might be jealousy and you need to actually check that. Okay, but given that we always find ourselves in adulthood, you will always find yourself in these particular situations whereby other people are doing so well and you don't know how to relate with them anymore, and it's not out of a place of condescension, it's not out of a place of envy, it's not out of a place of jealousy or self-pity, but it's just that the relationship dynamics kind of change. they change, and the relationship like it becomes a little bit fragile to handle in that instance. So I think one of the things that I would like to maybe like acknowledge is that we are meant to walk in glory. Like we on this earth, God put us here to walk in glory and to exude his glory, because he said that we are sitting on a hill whose light cannot be hid. So if you're the one that for this season, like God is blessing you, please bask in those blessings. Enjoy your blessings, because you not enjoying your blessings does not change your friend's situation or circumstances. Okay, God intends that you enjoy the blessings that he has given you. Don't feel guilty as we're talking about, because that is God's expectation of you. The second thing is that if you're the one that your life is not probably in the space that in the good space or in the blissful space, you need to understand that there is more where the blessings came from. I, for one, am a strong believer, and that comforts me each and every time, that the God that blessed these people is still in the business of blessing, and your blessing is also there. Like there's no need to envy, there's no need to put up like a fist of strife in the relationship simply because it's not you that is experiencing the blessings. Part of your happiness should come from the fact that the people around you are doing well, and that means that you acknowledge that where the blessings they got came from, if they came from God, which I believe, that is the case, there are blessings for you as well as a child of God. So it's just a matter of time. So that is how I encourage myself in the Lord, for those particular seasons. And also believing that because they do not give you money for this and went for a vacation, it doesn't say something about them. You get, it's not about them. That is still valid, because they did not self-neglect in some areas, and you feel that they should have extended that help to you instead. You shouldn't feel that entitlement, okay? That people's lives should slow down, and maybe we should all be pulled into this black hole so that the friendship can be strong, or so that for people to prove the relationship that you have with them is actually valid. So that is something that we need to actually even guard against, like very seriously, as now the person that your life is in that transitional stage or in that season of pulling back. How are you? Also, in that moment, in that season whereby things are not going so well for you, I always say that I take it as a catapult moment. It's something that I'm going to talk about in another video. But as a catapult, what a catapult is, like if it wants to project something so far, they pull it so much behind. And for me, like I back that up with the fact that God said that in this life you will face, you will have afflictions, but he delivers us out of them all. And these light afflictions that we face are just for a moment, and they work a weightier glory for us. So that is the posture that I choose to take in these particular seasons. And you find that those seasons actually take out that grief in the relationship with other people that are happy, because you realize that there is joy in seeing someone else happy, because sometimes they can even absorb that negative, that sadness on your side. Like they can come and, bring a moment of joy in this season of yours that you have now. Just imagine if all of you were in a season of being down and being, sulking and, seeking God for breakthroughs. It's good that we are able to pick up one another here and there, at the end of the day. And anyway, God says that like two are better than one, because they have a greater reward for their labor. Always like having people proximate to you, like it's a good thing, And I know like sometimes this particular guilt by proximity comes in because we are all aware of the phrase that you are the summation of the people around you. Like even the Bible says that bad company corrupts good morals. You're not saying that when you're in that state like you have bad company, but sometimes there's some negative energy that comes in. You now feel that if I have to keep on like progressing, if I have to keep on moving forward, that maybe I have to cut off some people, because they say you are the network of your network, your 5 closest people. And now just imagine your friend is probably falling behind in terms of career, and you're like, how do you relate? Because you realize that on certain things they might not be able to relate at that point. So, and you might have done enough to kind of support them, and you're not coming from a condescending place, but it's just a thing that happens. Like it's a phrase that I came up with, like guilt by proximity, or proximity guilt, or guilt proximity, like whatever you choose to take it as. It happens to us all, especially when you start adulting. Like this one, with the people that you went to school with, they might be doing better. People might be having children and you know it. People might be married and you know it. People might be making money and you know it. People might be traveling and you know it. As in, there's just a lot of things, especially markers that we deem markers of success, you know, and markers of well-being and markers of doing well, and you're falling behind in this for that particular season. You find that the relationship and given there are people that become so condescending towards others in their seasons of winning, but sometimes also it's just how other people receive them. You know, someone might just be basking in the blessings that God has given them, and because you're not there, you feel a certain way. Check yourself. That is on you. That is on you. Everyone is entitled to bask and engulf themselves and immerse themselves in the blessings that God has given them. And them doing that doesn't say that they do not see you, they do not commiserate with your situation or with your season. No, they are allowed to do that. Just imagine that those that are being blessed and those that are not being blessed, all of us are basking in sadness because we don't want to rub badly on each other or to rub off negatively on each other, simply because we want to keep the other person comfortable. What does that say about the God that is blessing us? No, like people are entitled to celebrate the blessings that God has given them in that season. Okay, and we also are called to be happy on their behalf, because God will always bless as well. In my church, so you cannot attract what you do not celebrate. If you do not celebrate other people's wins, you're kind of setting a law in motion that you're against people that are winning. Like, it still takes me back to the question of stewarding. How do you steward your season of tribulation? How do you steward that season of the wilderness season that you're going through? You know, so that there is no guilt from the other people, and also you're not feeling guilty because you can't be included in certain things. Like, if they want to go for coffee, let them go for coffee and be happy for them. Like, because it's just a season. At one point, if you're a strong believer that you're moving by faith and not by sight, at a certain time you're going to be able to also join them for coffee, and that will be good. Like, you will look back and reminisce and be like, oh, what a God, like, what a journey this has been. So you are allowed that. And when you allow yourself to move through that way, you allow other people to do the same, So I think that is all I can say. I don't know, have you experienced this? How do you navigate these seasons? They are very sticky seasons, We've seen people becoming jealous. We've seen people doing actually outrageous things in their down seasons. We've seen people becoming so condescending. Some relationships have actually failed in this particular scenario because to do away with the guilt, just do away with the relationship. But I think there are ways of navigating it. There are ways of navigating the relationship, keeping the relationship. It will not be the same as the other relationship that you had when you were both maybe like in the same circumstance. Yeah, but yeah, that is it. Like, don't throw away the relationship. Recognize what it is, its guilt, and navigate it the way it is. Both for the people that are feeling like they are doing well and their friend's life is not going exactly the way they want or anticipate. Yeah, you can navigate the relationship, and don't cut people off because of that. But have the difficult conversations. That is one thing that has actually helped me and my friends to navigate this season. Like, having a difficult conversations. Sometimes they're like, "No, you're over lamenting," and indeed, I have to stop lamenting. Sometimes they have a difficult conversation. They tell you no one is coming to save you, Claire. Like, you need to actually get up on your feet and do. And I take it lightly. Like, it has helped me a lot. Like, have the difficult conversation and tell them I'm feeling this way. Or when you say this, it comes up as this, regardless of your intention. Yes, communicate in brief, so that you can navigate these seasons together and keep the relationship if it's worth keeping. Okay, so once again, I'm building tables. This is Building Tables with Charity Claire, and keep guys seated at your table, Banangi. Don't discard off people off your table simply because they're having probably a season of bounty and you're not, or like you're the one that is having a season of bounty and they're not. Like, let's build tables. Okay, let's build tables and let's build them the right way. Okay, so I remain Charity Claire. Thanks for coming by. Feel free to subscribe, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, and if you've gone through this particular scenario of guilt by proximity, kindly discuss let's discuss in the comment section, like, how did you navigate it, or how do you navigate such situations? Do you cut people off? Do you have the difficult conversations? Do you bask in your guilt? Do you bask in your jealousy or self-pity? How do you navigate? Guys, just comment. Yeah, see you in the next one. Thanks for passing by.